Steve, despite the defeat on Thursday night, have you managed to sort of pick out the positives from what was a very good performance?
Well, we didn't play to the level which I think we're capable of, but we've really had more chances than I can remember. And if there is a criticism, then we can't just keep relying on a bell to score a goal. We've got to, get goals from elsewhere. But we've certainly created enough chances to win 2 games of football. But that's what it is. If you don't take your chances and don't score, then it becomes one of them horrible evenings like it did. So you dust yourself down, you take it, and you move on. And a nice easy one against Arsenal to back it up.
A lot of water under the bridge since the first game against Arsenal. So do you expect Arsene Wenger's approach to this game to change given what's happened in the last few games?
I don't think so. I think with the schedule what they've got, and will he rotate the squad a little bit? I would think so after playing against on Saturday afternoon. Listen, whatever team they put out, as we've seen at the Emirates, there's international football players all over the place in the 25-man squad. They're an excellent team. They've had a bit of criticism which I find ridiculous. I really do, but then again, that's part and parcel of being a football manager, I suppose, at the moment. How anybody can criticise him is beyond me, with what he's achieved and what he's done, and I think that typifies them again at the weekend, whether the people are criticising them and then they go and respond the way they do, and I think that's typical Arsenal and typical Arsene Wenger.
Do you feel as though Wenger will need to win the title to silence those critics?
Well, from inside the game, the critics are not going to be. You're not going to hear people criticise, I wouldn't have thought, because when you're in management, as long as he's done and what he's achieved and what he's done and what he's been able to get at Arsenal and what to do what he's done, then who is anybody to criticise him? And I find that really appalling that people can criticise him. He's built a fantastic. I'm not saying he's built it, but he's helped finance it. He's had to sell players. He's never been able to really compete at the top level like anybody else has at a top club, yet has kept them in the top 4 for 17, 18 years. So from me, you'd only get one thing, which is respect. And I think he deserves a bit more than what he gets dished out, considering what he's achieved.
Can you understand the frustration of the fans, though, that they've not won the title for so long?
Well, it's very difficult to win a title, and Man U went 20 odd years before they won 10 of them. So, Liverpool have gone 20 odd years. With the emergence of Chelsea and Manchester City over the last decade in particular, then it is very, very difficult for any big club to win a title. It doesn't just come as easy as maybe what it used to. But I still, the respect has to be shown to them because of exactly what he's achieved.
Hull City chasing promotion, so how much of a priority is this competition?
Well, we've got a chance. We've got a chance because it's a cup tie and we know anything can happen. If we could get through, then we've got a quarter final against Watford. So it becomes the priority is always the league and where we want to get to. We want to be playing Arsenal's and Man U's and Chelsea's every week. So the priority, of course, is the league. But there's nothing quite like an FA Cup tie or an FA Cup run. And as we've seen a couple of years ago, a lot of Hull fans had the best day of their lives going to the cup final. And it's a great occasion and great day. So once it gets to this stage, then all to play for.
Is there a concern, though, that it could lead to fixture congestion and problems further down the line?
Well, that is the problem, because there's a whole raft of teams playing in the Championship on Tuesday. There's a full fixture list. And if we manage to get through, then we've got to move next Saturday too. So we're already a game behind. So it just piles up the fixtures, which is a bit of a concern. Of course it is. But it is what it is. I can't really bleat too much because that is the Championship. 46 games is a grind. And we'll just have to take it on the chin and move on. Thankfully, the squad we've got at the moment, everybody's fit. I'm in that very, very good position where I've got 21 outfield players and every one of them is fit, which is going to help us over the next 8 to 10 weeks.
You made a lot of changes down at the Emirates. The repeat the same.
Yeah,
again?
there's some of the squad are desperately haven't played since then, so it'll be good for them to get another 90 minutes under their belt. You know, people like Maloney and Nick Powell in particular can only do them good. So yeah, in that respect, we'll be making changes. Yeah.
Final one from me. Big talking point of the weekend: Christian Benteke and the penalty. What was your take?
Well, I think if you're a defender, and I think, you know, Delaney's had such a good game, my take on it would be that he went to ground, and when you go to ground, you're always liable to get the decision go against you. And I think the centre forward's entitled to make a fall over. I can see where Alan's coming from. You'd be disappointed somebody 6'3" can go to ground so quickly, but for me at the time, as I seen it and watched it, I said penalty. Before looking at replays, I said penalty, only because of Delaney going to ground. I think has forced the referee's hand, and in fact I don't think the referee gave it, did he? It was the assistant, which he's never going to overrule his assistant, I wouldn't have thought.
Steve, I was just wondering, the momentum that you have in this competition, can that rub off?
Well, it did do a
the rest
couple.
of your
Yeah, well, it
season?
did do a couple of years ago. We hope so. I mean, look, we've got such a hard game. I mean, Arsenal are Arsenal, but there's nothing quite like a cup competition, and especially when you get to quarter-finals. I mean, we've got a chance if we get through. We play Watford in a quarter-final here next on Saturday. So, you know, it can only be a good thing. You know, as long as 5 or 6 don't get injured over now with Tuesday, and then if we get through on the Saturday. But yeah, why not? Why not let a little momentum come? Doesn't do any harm.
And you say you're going to approach the game in the same manner that you have through previous rounds as well, but having this fully fit squad that you've got right now, how do you keep those players who aren't involved
Happy?
week in, week out happy? How do you
Well, I
do
think
that?
that's the hardest part, and I think that's the, you know, I never thought I'd be saying this, back in my day, I was looking at a photograph the other day, there was 15 of us who won the title 20 years ago, because there's 11 players and a sub, one sub or 2 subs, and the transfer window wasn't open, or wasn't around then, so if you got a couple of injuries, you go and buy somebody, or you go and loan somebody. And the biggest problem that we all have now is in management is you've got to keep 25 people happy. And I knew what I was like as a player if I didn't play. You know, I wanted to tear down the door. So it's really, really difficult that you have to say to 4 or 5 people. Last weekend I had to say to 4 or 5 people who've done really well for me over the years, look, have the weekend off, you're not involved. You know, and no matter what you say to them, and rightly so, they want to rip my head off, which some of them are capable of doing now. So it's really, really difficult, and the cup gives you that respite that you can go and play a few of them who desperately need to play, and we've got 4 or 5 or 6 of them all desperate to play, which is a good thing.
And can those 4 or 5 or 6 influence your decision?
Yeah,
those weeks
I mean,
to not
they played
show?
really, really well down at the Emirates, and in the end we didn't want to draw, but they had a free kick with Sanchez, and I'm saying this is going to be cruel if Sanchez comes and sticks it in the top corner, because they deserved something out of it because of their effort and their endeavour, and we're going to have to put the same effort and endeavour in again. And yes, it can only do them a world of good that if some of them stake a claim to be in the team on Saturday or Tuesday or next Friday. So in that respect, places are up for grabs.
The priority obviously is the championship. Is this a bit of a free hit for you?
It's never a free hit when you're Arsenal, but everybody expects Arsenal to go through. So I understand where you're coming from. The league is the priority. We've made no question. There's no question about that. Let's go and enjoy the cup fight. I can understand where you come from. That a bit of a free hit, but when Arsenal come to town, it's never that free. So let's get ready for a cup tie, and let's hope we can make a real good fist of it.